Hello there YouTube, and welcome to the part 2 at OFI Orchids and Supplies. In the first part, I hope you'll watch that, we talked about media. Carlos gave us very fabulous information about how, what, when you need as it comes to media. And then we proceed with him to the other part, which is fertilizer and chemicals to protect your orchids. Everything you can possibly ask for is in this video. You will know everything. So let's go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Chemicals,
now we're going to talk about feeding your orchids.
Feeding, protecting, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
People ask me all the time, what's the best fertilizer to use on your orchids? Invariably, I tell them the one you use last. Whatever you have at home, use it. Here's what happens to all of us. We go to orchid shows, we go to events, we go to sales and what have you, and we see all these beautiful orchids, and we ask the person that is selling them, what fertilizer do you use? And they go, oh, by coincidence, here. Let's not promote the separate thing.
Yeah.
That's, here.
Yeah.
Maybe not. What's best for your orchid is discipline. What's best for your orchid is reliability. What's best for your orchids is consistency.
Yep.
Yes, there's something to be said about the components of the different fertilizers. For example, this is your industry standard. Your
the
20,
safest one. Yeah.
This is your most popular one, your 20-20-20. This is nitrogen, this is phosphorus, and this is potassium. You'll read it on the N for nitrogen, P for phosphorus, and K is the nuclear number, as a nuclear element for potassium.
We're going nuclear.
Well,
we're like entertainment that
those are atoms
with nuclear numbers.
Those are components. Those are elements.
And that's why when you use it, they explode, blooming, right?
Thing about the fertilizer. This is all you need to know. You don't go into orchids to study chemistry. You go into orchids to enjoy your plants. So the NPK, the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, it comes down to this: leaves, flowers, roots. That's what the numbers mean. That's what they do. So a 20-20-20 will give you a balanced fertilization of everything. A 30-10-10, leaves, flowers, roots. It's going to promote growth. It's going to promote leaf production. Now, the first number, nitrogen, an inexpensive source of it is urea. Normally you see fertilizing the first number, you look at the guaranteed analysis on the back, right there in very small letters, guaranteed analysis. That's what all the fertilizers show you, and that tells you what the fertilizer is made out of. This little one from Peters is an old one, is an African violet. It has 12% nitrogen, excuse me, but all of it is ammonia and nitrates. There is no urea in this one. So orchids benefit from, orchids will see the full 12% nitrogen because it's all nitrates. What happens, the problem with urea, you'll read sooner or later that urea is not good for orchids. It's not that it's not good. Orchids do not benefit from urea. Orchids do not absorb urea.
They don't absorb, yeah.
It needs to be decomposed by bacteria to become nitrates, which orchids can absorb that. So basically, it's not that it's bad.
It's a waste.
It's a waste. It doesn't do anything. It goes, it feeds your grass, feeds your fish, feeds your soil. So
your African violet. But not your orchid.
Not your orchid. A very good choice that we have is...
And look, there's sale.
Yes, we had a 20%.
Me as an experienced shopper, that's what I see.
Yes. A 15-5-15, again, leaves, flowers, roots. This one has a lower middle number. You go, well, how come this is better? Two things. One, most of the 15 is all nitrates or ammonia nitrates, which is readily absorbed by the orchid. But it has a low phosphorus because it has calcium and magnesium as a trace element. Problem is that for you to have calcium and magnesium in a water soluble, you need to have low phosphorus. That's why you see a low phosphorus fertilizer. So this one is actually a better feeder than your 20-20-20 when it comes to orchids.
Is there a difference in the season that you apply different?
Yes.
2020 is safe.
Yeah,
Like if you don't want to mess with all the science.
All of them are safe.
Yeah,
all
no,
of
I
them,
mean you can use it all year
all the
long.
time. Yes. Now, if one tip, if you're gonna use your 20-20-20, there's two things that you can do to make that product much better. Add magnesium sulfate, which is another name for Epsom salt.
Epsom salt, that's what I was.
So you can add your 20-20-20 together with Epsom salts. And what you do, for example, what we recommend is 1 teaspoon per week per gallon. So if you apply fertilizer once a week, you use 1 teaspoon of 20-20-20 per gallon of water once a week. If you do it once every 2 weeks, it's 2 teaspoons. If you do it once every 3 weeks, it's 3 teaspoons.
More concentrate.
Which is 1 tablespoon.
Okay.
Now, you don't go beyond a tablespoon because you start burning roots
Too
and
much.
start doing too much fertilizer. So if you only do it once a month, again, it's the same thing. 1 tablespoon per gallon of water once a month. Now, how much of the Epsom salts do you add to your 20-20-20? Half of whatever you do in your 20-20-20. So if you're doing a full tablespoon once a month of 20-20-20, you'll add half a tablespoon of Epsom salts in the same water.
And I also heard like before winter, September, October, just Epsom salt is good for like Phalaenopsis specifically because of the cold coming.
What happens is
Hopefully.
Well, what happens is that Epsom salt tells the plants grow new tissue, be it new leaves, new roots, new spikes, grow. Now, for you to do something, you need resources. So you do need your feed also, in addition to your, because Epsom salts will tell any plant grow new tissue, or get greener, or become lush. I mean, do something with what I'm giving you. But if you don't have resources to do what Epsom salt is telling the plant to do, she's not going to be able to do it. So you need a well-fed plant. You need something in addition to it. You can add. Continuing the fertilizer, we went a little bit more detail on that. Something else that you have kelp, you have seaweed. The one with iron is a better choice. Then another option is a slow-release fertilizer. This is NutriCode. NutriCode is the same thing that you find on the stores under the name Dynamite.
I usually mix it when I repot. I mix it with
Mix it on the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an
it is
idea.
a better idea to keep it on the top, because basically what happens is if you have it as a top dresser, when the water hits it, the water is going to percolate into the media, carrying the fertilizer.
Got it.
You can do layers of fertilizer or slow-release fertilizer, and the roots will search for it and go into it. But as a general rule, put it as a top dresser, and as you water it, it will release fertilizer that will go into the roots.
Yeah, but this is not like, as you can see, the numbers are not really high. It's a very safe one, but it's not as good as the previously mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
talking about another thing that you can add to your Epsom salt, potassium nitrate and super thrive. Those are 2 supplements that do make a lot of sense. And then of course calcium and magnesium, what used to be known as Cali Magic. This you want to start using especially heading into the summer. So by March, April here in Florida, you want to start adding some of the calcium magnesium supplement to whatever fertilizer you're using, because this is going to help your plant to hold on to its water. Cattleyas in the summer, we lose the new to put out new shoots and they burn. It's not because you have a fungus, it's because that tissue is too tender, it's too weak. So you need to strengthen it by adding calcium to it.
I need to start drinking that too.
Yes, you do, because you wilt in the summer.
After I watch the news, I need like a big shot of that mad farmer. Okay?
Famous last words. Anybody can interpret whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and that's my favorite part. The yuckies.
Okay.
This is exactly what I use.
This is our fungicide card. Diomil is a systemic. Systemic means that the plant takes it into the system, so it holds in. It's slower to act, but once you plant it, it's like an antibiotic. When you start on something like this, you do 2 teaspoons per gallon of water once a week for 3 weeks in a row. So it's like when you start taking antibiotics, you start with a higher dose, and then
Okay.
you
It's a
taper
very
down.
great comparison.
Same thing with this. As a fungicide, a systemic fungicide, you want to use something like this, and you can combine. A lot of people here in Florida do something like this.
Combine in one load,
In
or
one load.
or yeah, okay.
It's not something that I can tell you to do because
But
I don't do it.
you've heard of
I'm
it.
just reporting on a practice done by private growers. Okay, you use a systemic fungicide. You use a topical fungicide. Topical means that it stays on the surface of the plant. It's faster acting, but as soon as you water, it's going to wash off. So you do want to keep that in mind when you're applying something like this. The Orchid is a systemic insecticide. Again, same thing. Goes from within, is the industry standard, so a lot of people use. So you can, the practice, not something that I can say to do because you have to follow the manufacturer's label.
Yes.
But the practice that I've known private growers to do is to use 2 teaspoons of Orchid with 2 teaspoons of Captain and 2 teaspoons of thiamine in the same gallon of water. You apply it once a week for 3 weeks in a row, and your plants are inoculated. After the 3rd week,
What time?
you in the morning.
No, I'm talking year, like
Oh, year round.
year round.
Year round. You don't
How
stop.
much? 3 weeks, and then how
And
big
then-
of a gap?
And then once a month.
Once more.
After this, then you follow 30 days later, do the
Okay,
same thing, and
got
you
it.
continue. If you stop, you had to travel, and you went away, and you didn't do it the month that you needed to do it, then you need, again, like an antibiotic,
then-
you need to do the same thing again. You do it
Cycle.
for 3 weeks in a row, and then once a month.
Got it.
Yes, you can say, well, I don't want to do my plants. The problem is that if you grow outdoors, we have wet season and we have dry season.
In Florida.
The dry
yeah.
season brings insects. The wet season brings fungi and bacteria. Problem with us is that nowadays the seasons are mixed, and you have rainy days when it's supposed to be dry, and you have dry days when it's supposed to be raining. So it's kind of a mix. My approach is a shotgun approach. I do this, and I do it once a month.
Okay.
Everybody gets it. Now, there are warnings on the labels. Ideally, you want to stay away from where you spray at least until the chemicals dry
Yes.
off the plants. That means that if you walk by, you're not going to get it on your feet.
Animals probably.
Your pets are not going to get it on
Yeah,
the paws,
yeah.
or they're going to lick it. As long as it is dry, it's safe. Ideally, I mean that's the risky minimum. There's something in the industry called re-entry interval. It's the amount of time that you have to wait after you spray something like this to go back where the plants have been sprayed. Most of these chemicals, they require a 48-hour, 2-day
Okay.
re-entry interval to be completely safe.
So be careful.
So you don't water for 48 hours, you don't walk in there for 48 hours. And then they ask me, well, Carlos, what happens if I spray my plants and it rains at the end of the day? This is what you do. If it dry off on the plant, the chemicals did what they were going to do
It went
on
where
the
it should
plant.
be.
And if it rains after it dries, you don't
You're
have
good.
to worry about it. If you spray and the plants were still wet and it starts to rain, you lost your work, you have to start again.
Application. Got it.
So we have an insecticide, we have 2 fungicides. This is an organic fungicide.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask, because I have, for example, a friend of mine, she has bees.
Yes.
And she
This
tries
is-
to, like, yeah.
With bees,
So this
it's
is
a little
good.
more different. This is a bacillum, also bacteria, and it's an organic fungicide. But the way it works, if my fist is the plant, this will create a protective shield around the plant, and it won't allow any other spores to invade and attack or attach to
Okay.
the
Yeah.
host organism. The problem is that once you go this route, you cannot do the harder chemicals because you will kill the beneficial bacteria.
Okay.
So if you go with organic bacteria, where you go with organic insecticides, fungicides, you can't go back to this because you will kill the organic
But
thing.
if, like, let's say you got rid of the bees, can you then start using it in some time? What's the time frame? Let's say I use this in 1 month. Can I switch to this?
No, because
No?
because if you're gonna well, as long as you know that you're gonna kill the beneficial bacteria, you can definitely go do this.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you do this and then you wait a month and you want to spray this again, you can certainly do that, but it's going to be a while before the bacteria
Yeah.
colonizes the host.
No, I'm just what I'm saying that they can switch, like, but not rotate.
Correct.
Yeah, okay,
You can
got
switch,
it.
but you cannot rotate because you're going to work against yourself.
Okay, Jamie, I'm getting you garden-friendly fungicide.
Another option is your Phison 20. That's a disinfectant, sanitizer, deodorizer, fungicide, algicide,
Oh
virucide.
boy.
Does everything, but it's a topical, milder fungicide, bactericide, algicide. It's a tablespoon per gallon of water. You can spray your plants. If you have things outdoors and it rains, like it has rain here in Dade County, the day after it rains, you can spray with this, and that will dislodge the water that is sitting everywhere. It will kill any lingering pathogens that are lurking around. It will kill all that without really any adverse effect on your plants.
So, and you can still ship the chemicals,
Yes.
can you? Yeah,
ship
okay.
everything
don't.
you see here,
Yeah.
you can ship anywhere
Okay.
in the United States, no problem whatsoever.
Got it.
Internationally, there
Yeah,
are some
that's
restrictions.
clearly. Okay, and here we have more yummy
Now,
chemicals.
This is all the insecticides. We talked about orthine already. Orthine and acephate are the same thing. Orthine is the brand name. Acephate is the generic version of it. This will cover scale, mealybugs. It will also cover aphids. It will cover just about anything that is out there.
This is a huge, yeah.
Except for mites.
Uh-huh.
There is spider mites. They are. First of all, you don't see spider mites.
Yeah,
you
many.
You see the effect
And
of the spider
thrips.
mites. You get the little thrips also. This is very good
Really
for thrips.
small.
This is very
Yeah.
thrips. If you look at the flowers, thrips look like a black sugar ant
Listen,
without
if
legs.
I don't have my glasses,
Well,
I will not see the elephants on my orchids.
You
Yeah.
see- well, if you have an elephant on your orchids, you have bigger problems that I can
Call
help
me,
you with,
right?
with the orchid. But thrips look like a little sugar ant without legs, and you'll see a squirreling on the flowers. Usually, if they sit on where the petals of the flowers overlap, they'll be hiding there. You can kill them on contact with a solution of alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, 70%. Cut in half with water. You can spray your flowers directly with it. It'll kill the thrips, but they'll come, the ones that are not killed, they'll come back.
And it will just for thrips.
And it's just for thrips.
This thing will get them all.
This will get them all.
It stinks awful.
It does. It smells like
smells
yesterday's diapers.
awful.
And it lingers. Your place
Yeah.
will stink for a whole week.
Yeah.
Something else that you can use as far as insecticides, we have permetrol. Permetrol is permethrin. Permethrin is used for flea and tick shampoos on pets. So actually, this one is safe on pets.
Okay.
So you can spray it. This is a topical insecticide, but it gives you a 7-day residual effect.
Okay.
And this will work on mites.
Okay.
In addition to thrips, in addition to scale, mealybugs, everything, it will also work on mites.
It
So,
also smells good.
it has a chemical smell, but not as bad as orthine.
Orthine is on the
Now,
top of the list. Yeah.
Now we continue for mites. I mentioned spider mites more than once. Here's what happens when it comes to insects. In the rainy season, the rainwater will wash insects off your plants. So you don't really have to deal with many insects in the rainy season. You do have to deal with insects in the dry season because there is no water to remove them, and the water that you apply is not enough to remove them. So insects, dry season; fungi, bacteria, wet season. Now for mites, one of the options that we have is called Lucid. Lucid is a generic version of Avid. The chemical, the active ingredient is called ivermectin, and there's other brand names in the market that do the same thing. We carry this one because it's only 8 ounces for $35. I mean, this is very, very competitive.
But that's just mites or everything?
No, actually, surprisingly enough, this is a very, very effective insecticide for thrips.
Thrips.
It does a fantastic job on that. Now, this is topical. It's not systemic, so it's a
Okay.
different approach. But is very, very effective against.
But you
thrips.
dilute it?
Absolutely.
Okay, not
yes.
like the
This is liquid. and
Okay,
it's
liquid.
It's
Okay.
2 teaspoons in a gallon of water.
Okay.
Same with that. Same with that. This is a full tablespoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smaller version.
Yeah, guys,
Then-
read up on everything and
then-
protect yourself.
Then
Yeah.
an organic option is insecticidal soap.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, same thing. Whenever you do organics give you an effect for about 24 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the problem is. The same with neem oil, same with hot pepper wax, insecticidal soap. Any of those organic insecticides that you see out there, they give you a best 48 hours effect.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you have to reapply.
Uh-huh.
So
Well,
yes,
they're
you-
mild, yeah.
You will kill. You can also use soapy water. That will do about the same effect.
Snail?
Deadline is a snail bait, and it's the micro pellets. They don't. This one doesn't melt on when it rains, when water gets to it, so it keeps the consistency. Whenever you buy snail or slug killer pellets, and they're brown or gray or green or any other color like that, except for this one, if you see that the pellets open up, that's done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it doesn't work anymore, so you have to replace
Just like with the Nutri-Coat?
with the NutriCoat.
Yeah,
Well, the
same.
NutriCoat will stay, and basically what you end up with is an empty little egg.
Well, and I thought they're fine until you, I think, told me it's
it,
done.
It empties
Yeah.
out. No, it also here in Florida because of the heat. You give them about.
You
It
gotta-
says 6 months, but you give them about
6
5
months. Okay, got it.
5 months is a
Okay.
good rule of thumb.
Okay, so what else?
And this is another product. This is a generic Merit. Merit is if you have a problem with scale,
Uh-huh.
if you have a problem with mealybugs, you have a problem with aphids, and Orchid is not doing the job for you, this will be your choice.
Last resort.
Yeah, this is a generic Merit, but something like this in Merit will be like $65. This is only
Okay.
$45.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Just
thing.
not the brand.
Just-
Yeah.
It's not the brand. And those are, whenever you spray, one thing I have to leave you guys with, whenever you spray insecticides, fungicides, please, please, please follow the manufacturer's label, and please, please, please protect yourself.
Masks and
A
all
little
that good
face
stuff.
mask is not gonna do it. You need to buy the heavy duty respirators, goggles, wide brim hat, astronaut suit. If you choose not to do the astronaut suit, then long sleeve shirts. Make sure you wear disposable gloves, and whatever clothes you had on, you wash them in the laundry separately from your other clothes. Go take a shower after you spray,
Yeah.
because it'll be in your hair.
You
It'll be
want
in
to
your
because
face.
you'll stink. I know.
Yeah. Well, forget the stink.
My
I mean,
family knows. Mom,
the-
did you
the chem-
spray it
yeah,
again?
the chemical stays on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to change your clothes. You have to take a shower and everything. But please, I mean, these are precautions.
Yeah.
They're cumbersome sometimes, especially in this heat. That's why I said, you might choose just to wear long sleeves with gloves and long pants
Yeah.
with disposable shoes or with shoes, that you don't wear every day. But the respirator,
A
definitely.
must.
The goggles, definitely.
Again, it's systemic. It
The
goes
hat.
inside of your body.
Think about that. Yes.
Yes.
And one time is not going to do it, but if you do it the whole year, and it also has to do with how your body reacts to it.
Yeah.
Some people are allergic. Some people have stronger reactions.
Yeah, you
people
never
don't.
know.
So please, please, please protect yourself, because I want to see you for many, many years to come. So here.
He said he needs to show me one more thing. Isn't that wonderful, guys? It's like, don't trust Wikipedia. Trust Ophipedia.
Carlopedia.
Carlopedia.
This is a hose end sprayer. It's the easiest thing to use.
Mm-hmm.
This gives you 6 gallons of final spray. Whenever you buy these hose end sprayers, if you have a spigot, it means that it will suck the concentrate from the bottle and put it into the water flow. If the ones you buy don't have this, here's what happens. The water will go into the container, mix up with the concentrate, and come out. So at the beginning, you have a lot stronger concentration. At the
Okay.
end, you have a lot weaker concentration. So whenever you buy one of this, buy them with the spigot.
Uh-huh.
That's in there. That's in there. And with these guys, each one of this represent 1 gallon of final spray. So if you know that you use 2 gallons to spray all your plants, you fill it up with water to the 2 gallon water mark,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing 2 gallons. Say for example, you want to do the fertilizer 20-20-20, and you're doing it once a month. If you'll remember, it was a tablespoon per gallon. So if you're doing 2 gallons, you fill it up to here with water, and you pour in 2 tablespoons of 20-20-20.
Okay.
Shake. You connect your hose.
And drink.
You're gonna get me in trouble, you know that. And you start spraying. Here's the thing. This is called a spoon. If it faces down, it's gonna give you a spray about this wide. If you flip it around, now the water is gonna arch and then open wider, so you're gonna end up with a spray about a fan spray about this big, but a good 2-3 feet. If you remove it, now you can shoot water 15-20 feet away from you, depending on your water pressure, so you can hit your plants that are up in the trees. Something happens, you see that it's not sucking it out. What you do, you unscrew it, you remove this, you put your finger right there, and you open, you have your hose connected here, and you open the water flow. Whatever it is blocking will come through. I don't remove this because sometimes the blockage might be here too.
Yeah.
So what you do is you do that, and the
Kind
water
of
will
build the
reverse,
pressure,
and
yeah.
it'll shoot anything that is blocking it will do it that way.
Got
And
it.
that's it. You stop again, put it in there. Now you have your hose connected here, so you can do this. Don't do this because you'll spill your concentrate. So what you do is you turn the bottle.
And I need one of those, please.
Yay!
Sold.
Here, let me help you with that.
Thank you so much.
All right, and that's it.
Carlos Pedia is the best.
Thank you.
Pedia
We're a
that
phone call
exists.
away, we're an email away, we're a text
Yeah.
away, where you can contact us.
And
on
you guys,
Facebook.
they have every month the event. I try to come now every month. Probably I'll do October. November is a
October will
little
be
questionable
the
for me.
26th and 27th.
Yes.
Then November is the 22nd and 23rd. It's the week before Thanksgiving. And then December, we're going to have a year-end special with 3 days, which will be the very
Woohoo.
first weekend in December.
That sounds
So
good.
So hope to see you all here sooner or later.
Thank you. We love you.
Love you all.
So, wasn't that amazing? I got these from them. They also sell orchids. It's not their main focus that they have dendrobiums. They have, and the price is like 2 or more 18 each. And I looked at these, and you guys, if you can help us identify this, they don't have a name for it. So we don't know what is the name. And yeah, they also of course have the pots and all that good stuff. We didn't even talk about it because when you got Carlos, you better listen to the man. And then he is, by the way, a great speaker. If your society needs education about all this magic, just contact them. He's a great speaker. My favorite pots are these, and I have a lot of them. I love the shape. They remind me a little more of a pot spot. So I figured out my camera. I poked a wrong button. Yeah, so they do a great job at speaking. They have great products. Look at that dendrobium. How beautiful. $12 each. Amazing. No names, but if you don't really show your orchids, the name is not always. If you participate in shows, this one is, I know what that one is, and that one is worth some money. Palmer sell this one. Yeah, so beautiful place. Thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it. Miss Martha is melting together with me. Where did I leave my box? I lost my stuff. So please like and subscribe. Comments, greatly appreciated. Look at the variety here. And we'll see you soon. We'll talk to you soon. I have a couple of wonderful growers lined up for you. We're gonna visit their homes. And thank you, Ophi. And I'm done. So you guys, like this, I'm melting. Everything is like I made out of snow. It feels like 108 degrees today. So I have this really rosy cheeks. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time. Bye bye.